Hey, what is up everyone? I'm Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Pac-Man World 2 for the Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. So, last time we have managed to able to fully complete it. Well, not so much 100% accomplishment in terms of forms of, let's just say in Pac Village and the majority of the Grasslands world. Yes, this means includes off by one Pac dot left in Canyon Chaos and stuff like that. And also we managed to take down Blinky's Frog, even though despite the fact that the color scheme was actually orange, so I like to call it Clyde as it is. But either way, today for this episode is the fact that we're about to be moving on to the next world, which appears to be, well, the Forest World. And to begin with, we have Bedoya Woods. And in this level's gimmick is the fact that we have to get a lot of usage of these little bounce pads, similar to the ones in the original game, except a notable difference is this time is the fact that these little bounce pads are actually now in a different colored. Like for instance, the red ones were able to bounce you a little bit higher, but then the blue ones were able to bounce you a little bit more extremely higher. So as a result, yeah, this is what most people always remembered, especially noticeable. Oh man, the music in this world is so good. Especially noticeable how the fact that I always tend to still enjoy the entire soundtrack in the entirety of the Pac-Man world duology games, I have to say. But the third game, not so much though, just because, well, again, we'll point that out in that game and join at some point next year though. But either way, though, that's all I could really delta for anyway, so obviously today's days, of course, I would say today it is, I would classify for saying today's days the 7th of, July, in this case in 2020. I do apologize with the actual awkward dialogue on this though, probably because of how the fact that there's not much else I can usually decide to talk about this. Well, apart from the fact that it will be still uploaded in journey forms within every Tuesdays and Thursdays potentially, just because of how the fact that I just want to get these uploads going, especially noticeable how the fact that until likely on September, when I'm done with most of these other games to do a Let's Play on, I would able to mainly just trying to be focusing on back onto Yoshi's Crafted World, and during at some point in June forms of September, as you guys should know. And also, as you can see right here, that I somehow accidentally just ignored that checkpoint right there. But luckily I can able to grab that checkpoint right there, so I can able to actually not lose some of my progressioning in terms of... What the heck? What's going on right there? What is going on with the camera right there? Oh, jeez, that really messed me up my footing right there. But, luckily, we got a checkpoint right there, so we can't be bothered able to go for a backtracking heavy and stuff like that. But, either way though, that's how it goes. So, anyways, whenever we butt bounce on the switch, then it'll give us a trails of Pac dots that we can able to collect. So, hopefully, we would be able to actually just collect some of them for the time. So, again, not much else to say. Oh yeah, there's an extra life there. I think I'm might as well able to re-grab that before I continue things on. So, hopefully, I would... just simply got hit right there. Yeah, unlike in Pac-Man World 1, that, every time you fall, or anything like that, well, there aren't any, highest heights or anything like that. Whilst the forms of this game in particular, that if you somehow dare drop down from the highest heights, much like in Super Mario 64, and even Super Mario Sunshine if you want to count that as well, you're able to actually get yourselves fall damage, which as a result, in certain levels, mainly with the forms of the majority of the Forest World, as you can tell, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on jumping from platform to platform most of the time. But either way though, that's all I can really think about it. So here's the next maze right here. So again, I will try my best if I was trying to succeed the actual maze segments like these. But then again though, it might not be the 100% playthrough of the game, honestly, just because much like the original game, I just usually found this a little bit harder to complete the actual main thing itself. Although I would love to do that on my own time, just to show you guys the forms of every single parts of how this game offers us to, mainly with the forms of the extra stuff, specifically the arcade stuff, and even the forms of a little bit of time trials or anything like that. And aside from those side of things though, that's as far as I can usually think about it, and somehow my directional pad doesn't seem to work with me half the time, even though despite the fact that I had that controller on my PlayStation 2 controller for quite some time at this rate. But then again though, it does take a lot of, you know, learning curve or anything like that for that side, even though it's been such a long while since I actually discussed on this at one form or another. So, but either way though, let's just go ahead and collect some more pack dots, and it's a good thing we did manage to save these power pellets, so that way we can able to scare off the ghosts, and then at the same time, while trying to able to actually eat them for points. Although there's actually a hidden fruit that usually directly goes towards at the center of the maze, but I found that entirely optional though, apart from the fact that just trying to get some more scores if you really want to compete against with your friend or something. But for me, it's not my kind of thing, I have to be honest here, just because, well, then again, I'm just gonna have to mainly just focusing on the actual thing as this. So, like, you know, just collect all the pack dots, and that's all you really have to think about from now on. So anyways, let's go ahead and grab the last pack dot, and there we go, we managed to completely done with the maze. So, but either way though, hopefully we should able to get ourselves a Galaxian item, so that way we would be able to actually save our progress from now on. So, but either way though, that's all I can really say about this here, so anyways, let's go ahead and just keep on bouncing onto those little bounce pads as you saw, and grab the checkpoint in the process, and we got all the melons. So how's that for that? It only contains like only 2 of them. So, but anyway though, let's just grab another cherry from there, and grab another extra life. In fact, there's actually a good way you can able to farm more extra lives if you keep on dying a lot, which I'll explain more about it until later. And then I think it's, to be more specifically, it's on the Forest World specifically, but I don't know what level it is, because it's been donkey's years since I actually played the PlayStation 2 version of Pac-Man World 2, because I managed to play through the GameCube version loads of times in the past. But either way though, let's just go ahead and grab not only some more fruits, but also some more tokens to grab too. So hopefully we would be able to actually just, well, collect certain things and what have you, so even though relatively speaking, it's the fact that we're originally trying to able to go through, you know, just only the GameCube version as far as in this Let's Play goes. But as I said before, I no longer have the GameCube version from now on, just because of how the fact that since I've actually got the entire trilogy of Pac-Man World games on the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation consoles, so I'm might as well able to be perfectly fine for, oh jeez Louise, I almost gonna die right there for that longest drop height, as you saw right there. But anyway, so let's eat some more ghosts while this has been going on, and especially noticeable with how the fact that while we can able to eat some more, you know, power pellets to able to actually eat up some more ghosts and build up some more points and etc. So, but either way though, that's all I can really say about this for the most part. So, really? We almost at the end of a level already? I'm quite surprised how the fact that the majority of this level can go sometimes pretty short though. Oh yeah, by the way, in order to be able to actually get some more health wedges, as you saw right there, you need to collect about 100 of those pack dots, as you saw. And that's only because of how the fact that that's how, or yeah, and occasionally if you get like 50 each time, that's much like in Super Mario Galaxy, the original game specifically, that if you grab like 50 or 100 star bits in between, basically you would able to get yourselves, I would say, the health wedges specifically, because as a result, unlike in the original game though, in order to able to get some more health wedges back, that you can able to continuously eat some more ghosts in between, whilst the forms of this game though, you have to able to collect about 50 like pack dots in the forms of, it's hard to explain about it sometimes, because again, I've almost got a little bit distracted by that background noise as you will be hearing throughout the majority of this commentary, but I'm guessing it's probably because Jewel just managed to able to just utilize with the new vacuum cleaner. So yeah, as you see there on screen, I managed to achieve the 100% on this level. And that way, I can able to get myself my next token, so that way I can able to unlock more arcade games during that time. So yeah, something's worth mentioning. So, Next level we have is Treewood Forest, as you saw, and basically in this level's case is the fact that we have to deal with a lot of saw blades that we need to avoid. So, yeah, that's how it goes basically for the sake of this stage. So, and then again, if you really want to go for 100% completion, like if I was going to do that on my own time, you could also just match the able to participating in for time trials and stuff like that, which, either way though, I would like to show one of the levels in the extra level, or the extra videos in between, but I don't know if I can able to do them all though, because I'm only just showing you guys the normal playthrough as it is, so... And as you can see, I accidentally just lost a life right there, probably because I haven't paid attention to the depth perception, although I do notice the fact that there was actually a token right there, so... But then again, I will try my best if I was going to be able to grab some of the tokens for the most part, well, not every single one, as I said before. Then again though, this is not the 100% playthrough of the game, I must be honest here, because of... Usually I have not even achieved 100% in my whole entire life in this game. Unlike in Pac-Man World, the original game specifically, that at least I did manage able to almost 100% everything on that game, despite the fact that I'm off by one bonus area left, or the one bonus stage, in terms of likely just trying to complete everything, so... Alright, so we got 36 tokens so far, and let's grab the checkpoint right there, and grab another extra life too, so we can expect that we would be able to actually just, you know, get some more extra life in the process, so... Anyway, so whenever we, butt bounce this little switch, then obviously it gives us another trails of, you know, packed dots as you saw. So even then though, I think this will actually lead us to almost all the way back to the beginning of the level. But this time around though, it obviously takes place in, well, I would say towards at the, another token right there. So, but luckily there's a large pad right there, or the bounce pads, that actually leads you all the way back to the current progression. So, that's good to know, especially noticeable how the fact that if you can't be bothered able to actually just, you know, go all the way back to the beginning, well, thankfully you can able to actually just continue things on from there, so... Yeah, that's how it goes, basically. So, either way, though, let's go ahead and, keep on moving forward, and, hopefully, while the camera itself can sometimes, mess me up in some places and stuff like that, but either way, though, let's just go ahead and just avoid a lot of chainsaws, and all strawberries has been collected from the start, and, hopefully, we would be able to wouldn't have too much of a trouble in some form or another, so... But anyways, let's go ahead and just get some more pack dots between each side right here. So, we would expect for this much, and, alright, so let's just go ahead and grab a power pellet, and then, I don't know if I can able to grab that ghost over there, because he likes to run away from you. So, but even then, much like in the original game, that's, basically, that every time you grab the power pellets, then the ghosts will attempt to run away from you. So, pretty standard stuff, though, for most other iconic moments in Pac-Man games, you know. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue, and all oranges has been collected, and all apples are already all collected as well. And let's see what's in here, just a melon, and that's all there is to know. And we'll grab a token right there. I love this little scenery right there, if you saw in the distance over there. Even though we'd like to able to actually just to go back from there, but we're just gonna have to move on, just because of how we found that, well, we just have to continue, so... Alright, so let's see what's in here. Another melon, and oh jeez, that was really close. I almost gonna get myself a little bit slipped up right there. But luckily though, dang it, really? I just got hit by, oh, he's got his frowny face right there. Anyway though. So anyways, another checkpoint. Seriously, there's gonna be a lot of checkpoints in this game, more than the forms of how it does in the original game, that's for sure. Because, again, to get checkpoints in Pac-Man World, the original game specifically, you have to able to find the actual, the Pac-Man kind of, objects. I know it has been a very long time since I actually played Pac-Man World 1, so because of that though, maybe it's probably because I'm more used to with the second game more than the first one, despite with the actual, the schizophrenic difficulty in the original game for sure, and I have to go all the way back. but luckily for me, that's since I grabbed a token. But then again, that's what makes things a little bit trickier compared to the original game is the fact that, as I said this before, that if you really want to save your progress in terms of likely if you get the checkpoint or something, if you grab certain collectibles in mind, then if you somehow die and then if you don't touch the future checkpoints before that, you have to collect all that exact same items all over again. So even then, that can be a little bit of too much of a nitpicking right there. And let's grab that another token from over there by simply just river-roll right into it. I think the amount of tokens you can able to get up to at maximum at will, it will be 180 in total. So as a result, there's going to be a lot of tokens to collect. But then again, I will try my best if I was trying to able to grab some of them, but then again, not all of them, mind you, because some of the levels might took me about a long time to able to actually completely done the 100% completion in terms of this game itself. But I digress. I think, unfortunately, it's the fact that I don't seem to able to find the actual Galaxian maze or anything like that, which, fundamentally speaking, much like in the original game, I was able to actually just to bypass the actual certain mazes throughout. So as a result, yeah, I don't think I can able to get that 100% completed in terms of this stage in general. But, oh well, bigger sales can't be choosers, I suppose. Bigger sales can't be choosers. So... But then again, there's not much else I can talk about, but then again though, I must admit that I do apologize for the actual commentary in the background, just because that, you know, as I said before, Jewel is going to be able to utilizing herself, the actual vacuum cleaner. I'm missing one melon, and also the Galaxian, as you know. So anyways, the next level we have is Butane Pain. I do like that title, by the way, especially noticeable with, again, the loading screens in this game as well. That, it kind of feels like, you know, similar to Pac-Man World 1, except a noticeable difference now is the fact that depending on what environment of levels you're going to be exploring onto, that Pac-Man decides to go ahead and utilize with the different animations, depending on the loading screens and stuff like that, so... There's also a good reason why I'm gonna go for the PlayStation 2 version, as if for the sake of this better version of this Let's Play compared to 2012 counterpart. Well, usually in the GameCube version's loading times, they are not bad as well, but there are some technical errors on the GameCube version more than the PS2 version actually got. Like, for instance, for example, in the, let's just say in the next boss in the future, specifically in, well, I'm not going to talk more about it until whenever we get onto that, and also same applies to in one of the final worlds in this game, usually on the very first level in that world, basically this match able to contains Pac-Man just goes like a very weird moonwalk animation during the loading times and all that stuff, which it can be pretty much scenario-ly, or to be more specifically, it only happens on the GameCube version. Whilst in the PlayStation 2 version, I don't mind this at all, especially notable how the fact that, again, it always reminds me like I was watching some of those, you know, these little weird monitor clips from the likes of the bowling clips. If you manage to every time achieve, you know, strikes or spears or anything like that. But that was back in the day, that was in Bowplex, for example. But every now and then now, especially noticeable, this is still 2020. This means we got ourselves a pretty boring, generic, style, which is of course Hollywood Bowl, that the one we used to back in the day, because as a result, I just wish I just missed the old days whenever you're trying to go for that, you know, specifically some other cool animations and stuff. But then again, I thought it's just a little bit of a nitpicking I have with it though, but either way though, yeah, that's what I can say about it here. Alright, so let's go ahead and be very careful around here, because otherwise that's, well, there's an apple right there, which thankfully we did manage to got. And, oh, really? I can't believe I got myself screwed over right there. Especially how, I did not know if how the fact that that platform is going to be existence. But, unfortunately, I'm going to have to re-grab that exact same items again, so... Oh well, let's try this again, and hopefully we should... Is there anything around here besides, like... Oh, jeez, that was close. I was gonna get myself screwed over right there. If I somehow fall off again, that way it just makes everything else a little bit more recklessness or something. But jeez Louise, man, that was really close. Anyway, let's try this again, and... No! No, 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 no! Oh, thank the Lord, that's safe. Thank you, log platforms, you saved me. But able to actually just not to commit suicide or anything like that. I mean, jeez Louise, man. So no matter what though, I'm just gonna ignore that part right there. I know I was gonna able to actually just to show you guys any certain collectibles. I was gonna able to show you guys about this. But sadly to tell you is the fact that I don't know if I can able to do that. Especially with all the mazes and stuff. But usually that's how I can usually think about it. Right, so let's go ahead and just go onto here, and then just grab some pack dots from there, because I don't think there isn't anything down there though, aside from, you know, for that particular apple I just got. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's gonna take me anywhere, so, yeah, it seems kind of pointless to check in here, so... Oh well, we'll just go ahead and continue, and then hopefully, we would be able to actually get the remaining collectibles to top it off, so... Usually, relatively speaking, is the fact that I just wish that the Pac-Man World 2 selections of music were about to make its return in Super Smash Bros. 4, the Wii U, and the 3DS, and also the same applies to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as well, but it seems it doesn't seem to able to actually include those, sadly, which kind of sucks though, but even then, that was just a little bit of a nitpicking aside of that, so... And by the way, you know what that particular bonus thing that I was going to show you guys? Well, if you go down there, and then bounce all the way from between those bounce pads in between, then, well, there you go. You're able to activate the switch, and you get a whole bunch of extra lives. This way, you can able to actually farm some more extra lives if you're having a hard time with 100% in the game. So yeah, this is the best level you can able to actually farm some more extra lives within, because that way, it really helps it out. Especially noticeable with, likely, if you're having a hard time with the game or something. So, I've noticed there's some collectibles down there, so let's just go ahead and go down a bit. What? What? Okay, that's really weird. I don't know why, but I did manage to have myself 2 wedges of health, and as a result, it automatically kills me from that droppest height? That's very bizarre. Oh my god, what is going on right here? Anyway, so let's go ahead and continue things on. Thankfully, we got ourselves these collectibles right there, so we're at least expecting about the fact that we would be able to see something like this. But, good lord, man. A WTF moment, ladies and gentlemen. Especially noticeable how the fact that, I swear, I was gonna able to actually make our way to the edge of that particular circular platform like I was used to. But, somehow, I somehow died instantly? From that dropping highest height while I had 2 health? That is super weird. And talking of death, there's another death there. Probably because I did not jump onto the rope in time, so... Oh well, at least we got a checkpoint right there, so that's a good thing to notice, so... But anyways, let's grab some more cherries, and hopefully we're not gonna have that much issues from here, I don't think. Oh man, I was a little bit shocked, you know. But anyway, let's just go ahead and grab some more, you know, power pellets, including a strawberry on the center right here. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and just keep on collecting more of these. And try to avoid that ghost so you don't want to get hit by them. And, oh man, that is something else. I keep on saying to this point right now because I know it seems a little bit strange and weird, which, to be honest, it might be seems a little bit more obvious for this fact, but hey. Alright, let's grab the melon, and I think we are done for this area, so even then we'll just go ahead and leave. And then hopefully we should be able to continue things on for the majority of the level, so... And yeah, this is what I mean when it comes to the forms of using a metal power-up a lot for the sake of this stage, especially noticeable in the future stages, that we have to keep on using the actual metal power-up a lot, just in case you really don't want to get harmed by any other flames as you saw during the forms of sub-segments of this level, or to be more specifically, for this particular segment as you saw, there's actually a flamethrower or that little flames that starts to come out. But luckily, if we go over there, then we can actually get ourselves our metal power-up, so we can able to actually just, well, go ahead and just well, avoid any of the flames. Which, you know, can be also the same applies in any forms within Pac-Man World 1, so even then we can at least expect some similarities from here. Except the noticeable difference this time is the fact that it just makes things a little bit more traditional in terms of level themes and stuff like that, so... But you know, I really honestly don't mind about it too much though, after all, because of how the fact that out of all the actual Pac-Man World games I actually played, this one is by far one of my favorite ones in the entire trilogy. I mean, sure it does have some issues though, like specifically the camera control sometimes in this game can really just mess me up during tough platforming and what have you. But aside from everything else though, the graphics still looks really good, even to this day. And Pac-Man World 1, I found that game to be pretty good. Not the best I've ever played, but the worst one of the bunch though. It was definitely World 3, just because Pac-Man World 3 takes a different approach compared to the actual standard 2 games that we all used to in the past. But you know, you get the idea of what I'm talking about here, so... Alright, another bear thing to attack, and also another token right here. So now we're on to 47 of these things now, and another token! Jeez, there are so many tokens, they are somewhat almost nearby towards each other. But anyways, let's grab a checkpoint, and we need to be very careful around here, because sometimes the tightropes segments can usually just become a pretty tricky moment worth noting for. But either way though, oh, stupid bats. Even though I kinda wish I was able to throw the power pellet as a projectile, but, you know, as I said before, that power-up or that ability is no longer with us, whilst unlike any forms within the kick ability, which I found that ability to be pretty good, even for some scenarios likely, well, you know, you have to kick on some boxes whenever they're in midair and such. Okay, so there's nothing in here, so even then we'll just go ahead and just continue things on here, so I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing for this point, so... But then again, there's not much else I can really talk about this, apart from the fact that, well, recently though, is the fact that, well, you know, Mario and Sonic are still continuing things on in there. Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games Let's Play so far, despite, you know, the official Olympic Games has been postponed, even though originally we weren't able to do that around the same time as the Tokyo 2020 Olympics was supposed to happen. But, you know, as you guys should already know, that we have to wait for a long amount of time until whenever we're able to finally see the actual Olympics start during the forms within, let's just say in the forms within the 23rd of July in 2021. So, I think that was actually on Friday until next year though, so at least I remember correctly. Alright, so obviously I'm missing one item left, which is pretty obvious. It was the Galaxian I was missing on. So, for everything else though, we actually did that pretty good. So, even then, now let's move on to the next boss in this game, which appears to be Inkys Blade-o-Matic. So basically, in this entire battle is the fact that we have to reroll the whole entire time in this battle. So that way, unlike in the ones and how it does in the very first boss fight in the whole game, that in the first part you have to able to simply just butt bounce his tongue. And then on the second half, that you have to basically just, well, reroll it to its mouth until you're able to actually deal the amount of damage. Whilst in this battle, you have to reroll all the time, and wow, that was a really massive messed up moment right there. But oh well, we'll try that again. Thankfully, we're still at the beginning of the fight, so but even then, plus we got about 17 extra lives in between, so thankfully the extra life is still respawns, so you can able to re-grab that as much as you want. So, but even then, at least I'm grateful for that, so... Anyways, now let's move on to the second phase. Even though the second phase, even for the majority of any phases for that matter, plays out pretty much exactly the same, except the fact that Inky might now start to able to shoot out some chainsaws every once in a while, or these little saw blades, until they're able to start to hurt you a lot. So, yeah, so something's worth bringing out, and that was a very lucky collusion right there, especially with that particular hit right there. That is super lucky too. So, even though, despite the fact that I almost go for lava during that specific moment's notice, but this boss fight is actually not that hard. It's just the fact of the matter is though, is the fact that it gets a little bit tricky sometimes, especially in this case is right here, that I keep on getting owned by too many saw blades. But either way though, it doesn't really matter to me at all. Because as you can see, I've got myself 20... What the heck? Did he just shove me off? Okay then. Let's try this again, shall we? Anyway, a few things I want to explain about this also is the fact that we've only got about, I would say 10 more days to go, actually, until when Paper Mario the Origami King was about to be releasing on the Nintendo Switch, which I'm super looking forward to it, especially noticeable how the fact that, wow, recently for the sake of time, we're able to play the majority of the Paper Mario games again, so I would able to expect to do some sort of like a retrospective or something, so but even then, that's all I can... Seriously? I seriously did not meant to do that. Oh well, we'll try this again for a third time in a row. Well, to be more specifically, I've only come across into 3 deaths on this fight so far. And there we go. Whew. Even though the only reason why I accidentally just died in this particular fight is because I was wondering if the actual extra life will respawn every time you die, but it wasn't, so... Anyways, we got ourselves our second golden fruit that we've actually now finally recovered, and that is the golden strawberry. So even then though, that's self-explanatory right here. And speaking of which though, I think I'm afraid we got endings off at this point right there. So join me next time on Let's Play Pac-Man World 2. It's the fact that we're going to be moving on to the Ice World, starting with Ice River Run. So I'll see you guys until on Thursday then. Later fellas.